what's up, guys? Welcome to the Run Pure Best Ball Show. Week one of pretty much NFL preseason kicked off tonight. Hall of Fame game, Dallas versus Pittsburgh, and we're doing some best balls. Got the RPS team, though, basically hitting on all your preseason coverage. We have JSU, we have Mangone, we have Bruce, we have Rubio Dimes. Everyone over there is just getting into football mode pretty much. Promo code for the site, RPS NFL 15. It'll get you 15% off for a lifetime subscription at Run Pure Sports. We're talking best ball, though. Me, Simon, and Snyder. Snyder, how's your week going?
Now my week's going good, man. I'm just really excited to see this football game finally kick off. We had some Showdown content going on. I mean, we're doing well so far. We're on some of the right plays so far. We hammered that Steelers defense, and the Cowboys running back was good. And we're looking to get our Steelers receivers to pick up here in the second half.
Yeah, I'm not doing too hot, actually. I should have went defense. I kind of went the other way. Obviously, defense kind of been where you want to go in the Hall of Fame game. First, it would make a ton of sense, right? But I played a wide receiver and the captain, so it isn't the greatest start for me for NFL preseason. Simon, you're still on mute. Do you want to? Oh, there we go. Simon, how's it going?
Yeah, I don't know. Like my mic, I have to manually mute it now because
you're the producer, though. How's that even?
It's because of the way it's routed. Like I have to. When I talk to you guys, usually the audience can't hear me. So when I do a show, like I have to change my routing settings on this stupid thing, and it's just like it's a disaster. But no, doing good. Good to have NFL back on TV, and it's kind of the same boat. Like I did have defense, but all my major guys that I invested in, the wide receivers and stuff, aren't doing anything tonight. So looks like I losing out on those, and I had them in the captain. So not working out today.
We really only know so much for NFL preseason. Yeah. So can always take a mulligan for the first Showdown slate. We did rankings this week, guys. How'd your rankings go? Snyder, I'll kick it to you.
I did pretty well on my rankings. I like where they're at. I just mixed some stuff around today with some recent news and such. But, yeah, they should be up here on the site here soon, and I like where they're sitting at right now.
Nice. Simon, how was your rankings?
The rankings are good. I'm waiting for them to pop up on the site so I can rearrange them. I got a bunch of changes that I need to make. I've tried them out while I'm drafting, and there's been a few spots where I had one guy over another guy, and I'm not drafting that way, so I got to go back in there and adjust a few things. But they should be up on the site relatively quick. I saw Captain was loading Bobby's in there, so Snyder's and mine should be in there pretty soon, and then it should be live for our premium members.
Yeah, I got mine done. Took a couple tries, just trying to get as pretty much. I have an issue with Excel, but I finally got everything working. But my rankings will be up also with the teams for best ball, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. Like the way they turned out. First, we should hit on some NFL news before we kind of make our way to a draft. Watson to Eagles is heating up. Simon, that is not good for me and you and our Jalen Hurts shares. Can you kind of get into that for me and kind of break that down?
The trade talk of Watson to the Eagles, it kind of died down a little bit, but then yesterday I think there was a beat writer who was bringing it up again. And it's looking like the talks between the Houston Texans and the Eagles are kind of ramping up a bit. So it's looking like it might be a realistic possibility that Watson would end up on the Eagles, which for our Hurt shares would not be good. For our weapons shares, it would be pretty good. It'd be interesting to see if they would trade Hurts to, Houston, which would be ideal for us. So that way, at least we get some use out of the quarterback that we drafted relatively early. Hurts, mostly 7th through 9th rounds probably, is where most of our Hurts shares were drafted. But, it sucks overall if he ends up there. But I do have a lot of Watson, and I prefer him on the Eagles over the Texans. So that kind of makes up for it, but it's still would have rather seen Watson go to Denver or something like that. But, Denver's still in play. We don't know how it's going to shake out. But I think it is interesting that Watson has not been added to the commissioner's exemption list, and still no criminal investigation into him, or at least no criminal charges on him. So that kind of tells me, and the fact that they're even talking, the Houston is even talking about trading him, kind of tells me that maybe he's going to avoid a suspension, at least for this season. So it's definitely would be a good idea to start drafting some Watson shares if you haven't already. He's still going in the 16th through 18th rounds, so he's still very affordable, and it's still not a huge loss if he ends up getting suspended. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out, and I'm guessing they're going to shake out within the next week or two, because I think teams are really starting to get a look at their quarterback situations right now, putting them through practice and everything on the training camp. And I know at least with Denver, their quarterbacks have kind of not been impressive. So I wouldn't rule Denver out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes just yet.
Yeah, and it would make sense, right, for Denver to at least get in the fray. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater has kind of been balling out according to some beats, I would say. Well, definitely playing better than Jake Lock. Who's the QB in Denver?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, yeah.
Drew Lock, sorry. I don't know why I said Jake Lock. Drew Lock. And, I don't know. I'd like to see Deshaun go to Denver. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why the Eagles would be so inclined to just trade Jalen Hurts. He obviously balled out at the end of last season. Yeah. Snyder, any thoughts on this Philly Deshaun situation?
Yeah, I'd kind of like to see Deshaun actually go to Philly. I think it would really boost the upside of guys like, Devonta Smith, and like Miles Sanders even. I think he would see a great boost with that, with Deshaun's mobile ability and his down the field threat that he's shown with those guys. And Jalen Reagor, he could even result positively from this. I think it would just be an all-around good fit for him. And I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't seen anything from the commissioner yet, as I don't think those trials are anything's even going to happen until February. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that front. But Denver, he would definitely fit in really well there too. They got some playmakers there. They got a great running back and a couple of receivers and a great defense. I could see him really doing well there as well.
Yeah, I can see him doing well in Denver, doing well in Philly. I like Jalen Hurts at the end of their last year though. But I understand why the Eagles would be looking to get him up, I guess, for a talent like Deshaun Watson. But who knows what Jalen Hurts can kind of turn into. Yeah. Wentz, they're saying 5 to 12 weeks with that foot injury. Everyone kind of jumped on the 12 weeks. Simon, what's your thought process? Do you think he'll be back by week 1?
I think it's possible that he'll be back by week 1. We know Wentz and his injury history. If he stubs his toe, he wants to get out of the game. So it'll be tough to see how it ends up playing out. He could be, another player might have the same level of the injury, in the success in the surgery, would come out and be I'm ready to go week 5. With Wentz, I'm ready to go after week 5 of the recovery, which would be week 1 of the season. But with Wentz, you never know how he's going to handle it. We never know if he's going to come back right away or if he's going to kind of need to extend it out to week 12. Most people are drafting, though, like it's going to be week 12. And you've seen guys like Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell are all kind of tanking right now in the drafts, and Pittman's becoming affordable again. If you've been drafting throughout the summer, in May or so he was going in probably the 11th or 12th rounds, and he went all the way up to about round 9, and then after this Wentz injury, he's kind of fallen back into the 11-12 range again, which is nice. Snyder, you were talking about a linesman who also got hurt, and that might be having an effect on Taylor right now.
Yeah, I mean, actually, a day after he came down with their best lineman, the best guard in the NFL, possibly. I think he's one of the best in the league. Great pulling guard. He went down with the exact same injury one day later, and they have the exact same 5 to 12 week injury process. And I think that really hurts Jonathan Taylor as well, as they're going to have that bad quarterback play. They're going to be down 2 key offensive linemen now with Fisher and now the guard going down. And that's really going to hurt his. I've been dropping Taylor. Like, I wouldn't take Taylor. I mean, he's borderline top 10 running back for me right now when he was in that 6 to 7 range. I've got him lowered down to right around that 10th range because I think that's really going to hurt him. And I think that could benefit guys like Hines and the pass catching guys there.
Yeah, Pittman, I would just be scooping up regardless of where he's.
Yeah.
When Pittman lost value, I was still trying to get my Michael Pittman shares. Obviously, didn't take him as early, but I just think he is an absolute beast. And you make a good case on Taylor. If you were taking him, if he was up to 7th in your ADP and you draw him back down to 10 now, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, Wentz, there's questions there, and then there's questions on the pulling guard and obviously just the O-line in general. So, yeah, I'm definitely a little less bullish on the overall Indy offense, but Michael Pittman specifically, I'm trying to still get as many shares as possible.
I would say with that linesman too, I haven't seen his recovery window, but if it's the same injury as Wentz, then he might have that same 5 to 12 week recovery.
Yeah.
And it might be more likely for him to come back before week 1 than it would be for Wentz. So it's still possible that you're getting Taylor at a nice discount. I was drafting today, and I got him in the mid-second round pretty much, and I was kind of surprised to see him fall that far. But if you're of the mindset with Snyder, then it makes sense to drop him down in your rankings for sure.
Yeah, I'm no doctor, but I feel like I'd be more worried about the offensive lineman with an injury like that because he's bearing so much weight on that foot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think I think Wentz will probably be back by week 1. Wentz wants to come out and play, right? I feel like he's in situations in Philly, it's taken him a little bit longer, but he needs to get right and needs to get right early. I think it's a lot, in terms of his career, he has to pretty much get a jump start in Indy. So I feel like he'll be doing everything he can to get back. Dak hurt recently. Simon, want to get into that a little?
Yeah, Dak hurt his throwing shoulder, so he's been sitting out practice for probably about a week now, and there's some concerns that it's taken him so long to get back into practice. I'm not sure what to think about it, to be honest with you. At first, I thought it was nothing, and then the longer and longer it's taken for him to get back in, it gets a little bit more concerning. I'm not overly concerned, so that I'm not going to draft him if he comes to me at a good spot, but it definitely is not comfortable to think about, what this injury is what's gonna happen with his injury, and if he could potentially miss any time. But especially for his weapons. Amari Cooper, I want to add to that too. Amari Cooper's had I believe an ankle issue, and he's been some sort of like a flare up in his bone or his ligament or whatever, and it's injury that he should have recovered from relatively quickly, but it's been about 6 months or so since he had the surgery, and he is still feeling the effects of it. So that's a little bit concerning, especially with like just a month left to till the season starts. So I'm a little bit concerned about Amari Cooper. I'd bump up the CeeDee Lamb shares if you have him pretty. I'd bump him up in your rankings basically.
Yeah, I had CD bumped ahead of Cooper. Just CD, I just have a little bit higher, I feel like, than the majority of the industry at this point. Anyways, yeah, Dak, obviously the injury history, there is a cause for concern, I feel, but I think he'll be fine. Amari Cooper, on the other hand, like I'm bullish on the Cowboys passing attack, but it's more through CD. So I don't really have a ton of Cooper. Snyder, I know you've been drafting Cooper. What are your thoughts there?
I started to at the beginning when he was kind of dropping, but I've been more on CD as of late. I just love what I've seen out of him in camp. I've actually got CD moved up to my number 6 receiver overall. So I'm definitely bullish on him this year. And I was listening to Dak at halftime. They were interviewing him in this game, and they were like, he was talking about his injury. He's like, we're being more preventative than anything. He's like, we got 5 weeks until the season. He's like, I don't want to rush anything. We're just going to take this day by day. And he said he didn't sound like it was too worried about it at all. He talked more about his ankle, saying how he was more confident and was not even thinking about that in the practices. He was out there. He was just playing football, he said. So I like where his mindset is with that, and I think he's going to have a good year still this year.
Yeah, and it makes a ton of sense to handle a situation like this with kid gloves, especially with Dak having the season-ending surgery last year. Transitioning to another quarterback who had a season-ending leg injury, Joe Burrow, little tentative, I guess, in terms of throwing passes at camp. Cincinnati didn't do anything to really improve that offensive line in the draft. Went with Jamar Chase. Any thoughts for you, Simon, in regards to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati? I know you've been pretty bullish on them since the start.
It's definitely another concerning thing. It's like all the quarterbacks I've been drafting have having these issues, but with Burrow, it seems he's not there mentally recovered from that injury. So in camp so far, it's only been a few days in the camp, keep that in mind too, but like so far he's been very hesitant. He's been missing his throws, throwing short, just showing nervousness when the line's coming at him. It's something to be concerned about, because obviously if you're thinking about the mental aspect of football and, like your life's on the line on every play, and you got these 300-pound dudes like rushing you to throw you to the ground, and you just had a surgically repaired knee, it's going to take a little while to mentally recover from that. So hopefully after a few weeks of training camp and getting back into the flow of things, and then, maybe a couple weeks into the season, he'll get better from a mental perspective. But right now it's looking like he's a little bit hesitant. You might want to pump the brakes if you're drafting Burrow heavily right now. I'd still draft his weapons, but I'd probably bump Chase a little bit lower than where I've been drafting. I've been drafting him in the beginning of the 4th round if he falls, or not if he falls to me, but if nobody betters there in the beginning of the 4th round. But I probably would go with a Robert Woods or someone like that over Chase at this point.
Yeah, so I think the hesitation coming back from a surgically repaired knee is like kind of expected, I guess. I wouldn't like lean too heavy on that being an issue for Burrow going forward. What scares me more is they didn't do enough to basically like help him in terms of the offensive line. And that's where, if the hesitation continues, this could become a situation that we don't really want to be involved in, I guess. But he's Joe Burrow, and they have a ton of great weapons: Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. So I think everything will be fine. I feel like, not that we wouldn't want to be in, I think that's kind of too harsh in saying that, but I think that the Bengals overall throughout the season, they'll right the ship. Snyder, any thoughts on the Burrow situation?
Yeah, I definitely think it's something to note, but I'm not necessarily too worried about it right yet. Like you were saying, it was kind of expected. I think he's just trying to get this rust off here. I mean, we're a week into camp and whatnot. And I mean, if this continues to escalate like 2-3 weeks into this camp, then I would start to get worried. But for right now, I'm still heavy on Jamar Chase. I think he's just going to have an absolute breakout year this year. I mean, he's only a rookie, but I expect something similar to what Justin Jefferson did last year, honestly. I mean, I've seen those two play on the same field, and Burrow was thrown to him, and I think Jamar Chase is a way better athlete than Jefferson was at LSU even.
I'm still drafting Chase. I don't know if the hesitation really would knock me off of getting my Chase shares. I don't have enough T. Higgins, so maybe bump up my T. Higgins. I'm just thinking in terms of my own personal portfolio for underdog. I like Bengals receivers. To me, I don't think I'd be too worried with the Burrow situation. Dumpster fire offenses, Giants, Texans. We're drafting a lot of those guys late. I actually think Daniel Jones is pretty interesting with the rushing equity that he has as a QB in this format and how basically best ball is structured. Texans, we don't know who the QB is going to be. It could be Jalen Hurts if Deshaun Watson swapped over there in a trade like we talked at the top of the show. Simon, how are you kind of approaching these offenses late in the draft?
First, I just wanted to hit that we're running a promotion with our sponsor, Underdog. And cool. If you look right above Snyder's head, you can see a little graphic there. If you use the promo code RUNPURE, when you open an account at Underdog and make your first deposit, they're going to give you $25 in cash into your account. And that's basically good for an entry into this Best Ball Mania contest that we're going to show you guys in a few minutes, or 5 entries into the Puppy, which is a $5 contest where you can go in for I believe the top prize is $100K. So there's some good contests over on Underdog right now, and it's a fun thing to play. So if you haven't gotten into best ball yet, I'd recommend now would be the perfect time to do it when you're starting to get better ideas of all these injuries and stuff. But as far as the dumpster fire offenses, it's just like the other day there a huge brawl broke out at the Giants practice, and it's just like, oh my God, they're just a disaster. And the coach. Jason Garrett gets up in front of the reporters and scolds them for not calling him coach. It's just like, the guy's a freaking joke. Like, and the Giants offense is a freaking joke. And I'm not touching them. Galladay just went down with another injury, and it's just the Giants just suck, man. Like, I wouldn't touch them. Like, with Garrett running that offense, there's no hope for them to be any type of fantasy relevant. I'm fading them completely. Like, I was trying to draft a little bit of Galladay, not too much exposure to him, but like it was only a matter of time before he was out for the several weeks with an injury, and like just looking at Garrett running this offense and just what a joke that guy is, and what the team is doing right now. It's just I wouldn't touch the Giants.
Yeah, I think one of their offensive linemen they signed on Saturday retired. I was watching the Pat McAfee show. literally retired like the day after the brawl because I guess they had to run wind sprints, and like this guy was just like, I haven't done this since high school. Like, I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here. Peace out. You know what I mean? Like, the Giants seem like a total shit show. I do. So Daniel Jones, I do have some interest just because he does have a little bit of rushing equity. But with the Galladay injury, I just don't. That just makes it more of an issue. Saquon, I think they're going to ease Saquon back, and I think we can still kind of get him at a value. You do mention Jason Garrett, though, and I don't know how the coaching carousel in the NFL is so interesting. I don't understand how people keep getting jobs. Snyder, what's your thoughts with the Giants situation?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this Giants team. I had been fading Saquon all the way through this process, and it just continues to drop him down even further in my rankings. I mean, first of all, you got to worry about Saquon's injury and how he's going to be used in the first 6 weeks, and then say we get 6 weeks in. I mean, are the Giants completely dead? Or are they just going to shut him down? I mean, those are the big concerns I've had about Saquon this year. And I have no trust in that clown Jason Garrett there. I mean, he doesn't know anything what he's doing. I mean, it's just a total crazy, a dumpster fire there. I mean, more or less. And yeah, the Texans too, I have no interest in any of those guys as well. I mean, they've got Deshaun Watson playing safety and they're doing some stuff like that. And I just want nothing to do with that organization as well.
Yeah, I have no idea why Deshaun Watson is back at safety. I couldn't tell you. There's a lot of things that are just, and then Brandon Cooks is someone that a lot of people are drafting. And I think just because they have the idea that they're going to be playing from behind in a lot of games. And it's just Brandon Cooks to me is just bad at football. He's someone I don't want to target. I'd rather take a shot on Nico Collins later. That's just me, but I just don't see the top 100 ADP for Brand. I get where people are why people are trying to make it happen, but I don't know. I'm not a big Brandon Cooks guy. All right, so once again, Underdog promo code Simon just hit on it. Run Pure, one full word gets you $25 cash bonus when you make your first deposit. I just wanted to go over that again quickly, even though Simon just did it perfectly for us. I skipped it when I was supposed to do the read. We'll get back into who's really standing out for you guys at camp so far. Simon, you can kind of kick that off for us.
Yeah, so far there's a few, some under the radar, some not so under the radar guys that are making good impressions on camp, and they could potentially be league winners or at least get you a nice boost. The guys that I'm looking at are Boston Scott. I was looking at reports from the Eagles camp, and they're saying that Boston Scott is basically getting just as many carries in camp as Miles Sanders. So everybody kind of wrote off Scott when they drafted. I can't remember his name right now, but they drafted a rookie running back in one of the later rounds, maybe round 4 or 5, and everybody was kind of writing off Scott after that, including myself. I didn't really draft him too much over the summer, but now reports are coming out that Scott's been getting just pretty much an equal amount of carries as Miles Sanders. So I'm bumping him up in my rankings a little bit. I'm going to get some exposure to him where I have, maybe Deshaun Watson drafted, or I have Hurts drafted, just to try to get a little bit of exposure to Boston Scott, because he's basically going undrafted. He's going well past the his ADP is well past the end of the 18th round, so you can basically get him for free, and it's a potential to take a guy who's going to have a decent role in that offense, not be a starter, or we've seen what happens when Miles Sanders goes out before, and Boston Scott kind of took over a couple years ago, and he was great, and he was I think he led the league in fantasy scoring for running backs in the few weeks that he was starting. So Boston Scott has a lot of potential to pop off. And then another guy I'm looking at is Josh Palmer. He's the receiver for the Chargers, and he's another guy that's going 16th through 18th rounds, and he is making a good impression. Some people are talking him up as being the steal of the draft and stuff like that. So there's some potential there. He's another low risk target in the 16th through 18th rounds that you can take a shot on and get potentially the third starting wide receiver in the Chargers offense, which should be on fire this year. And then my final guy is an easy one. He's Antonio Gibson. getting them in the second round pretty frequently right now. If I'm taking a wide receiver in the first round, I'm looking to either get another stud wide receiver, and if the guys that I don't like don't fall to me, then I'm taking Antonio Gibson pretty much. And he has the potential, just like Eckler, to end up as a top 5 running back this year. He's got all the tools. He's impressing in camp, and he's looking pretty good right now. And it should be an offense that runs a lot, and it should be a lot of opportunities for him.
Snyder, so who are the guys that are standing out most for you in camp?
Yeah, there's 3 guys I'm looking at here. The first one's going to be Elijah Moore. He's come in the camp with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's talked about he wasn't too happy about being 6th receiver taken this year, and he's got the 5 names of the guys in front of him that got drafted wrote on his bathroom mirror. He says he looks at it every morning and every night before he goes to bed, and he uses that as motivation. And him and rookie quarterback Zach Wilson have shown a lot of Rappaport this early on in this camp. I mean,
Ian Rappaport or just Report?
Report, yeah. But they've been showing some big plays in camp, and they've been drawing rave reviews from coaches and peers. I mean, he's shown that strong upside that he showed at Ole Miss. As a junior last year, he had 86 catches and just under 1,200 total yards, so I'm definitely high on him this year. He's been moving up my draft board quite a bit over the last week or so. Another guy, Terrence Marshall, wide receiver from the Panthers. He's been making big strides in camp so far this year. He's going to be the primary slot guy, it sounds like, after some big practices. Joe Brady, his former coach at LSU, had a big say in drafting him here. He went at 59th overall, which is he actually slid down the board from where he was during pre-draft and all that. He was projected to go like mid-first round, late first round, but he had some injury concerns, and that kind of dropped him down the board as the draft approached. And Carolina's really happy to have him right now. He's been making some big plays out there, looking really strong in camp. Another guy I'm high on here is Damian Williams. I think he's got some huge upside, as he could even take over for Tariq Cohen as he's been out with injury so far. And Williams has been making the most with his time here. He's in that Matt Nagy offense, which is very similar to the Andy Reid offense they ran in Kansas City, so it should be an easy transition for him there. 1 week into camp, and he's pretty much been the most impressive guy on the whole field, they've said. He should be fresh. He sat out last year due to the COVID issues, and the coaches have just pointed out his strong pass game skills as well on third down drills and stuff. So I'm really high on him as well.
Yeah, Damian Williams, should have been Super Bowl MVP in my opinion, a couple of years back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Love Damian Williams. I'll get in my 2 guys real quick. I like Jacoby Myers. I like James White. I think Mac Jones, a lot of buzz out of camp for Mac Jones. If he's starting earlier than expected, these guys in their ADP is likely too low. Jacoby Myers anyways, I think his ADP is just too low in general. But James White, he would be in a situation where maybe the Patriots are down more this year, and then he's going to see more attempts in the passing game with them playing from behind. So those are my 2 guys, and that I'm basically looking at camp. I didn't have a third. Those are pretty much the 2 that I'm going to roll with today. We're going to get into an underdog draft. Underdog promo code for first-time deposits is one word, run pure. It gets you $25 cash bonus when you make your first deposit.
Did you guys jump in? There's one. Man. Okay. Are you in, Bobby?
Yeah. I'm not in.
Yeah, get in quick.
Oh, I don't know if Bob got in.
Oh, no.
Oh, I got in.
You got in? Oh, there you are, Bobby.
Are you serious? You're the last one?
Yeah, I'm the last one, but it's me, you. It's you.
That's
you're
awesome.
1-1, and I'm 1-2.
Oh God, pick one.
And
you're pick 2, and so we're gonna be sniping each other.
I don't want to pick 2 though. I'm not drafting.
I love this
Dalvin at all. I have no Dalvin.
All right, let me
That would have been super tilting there.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a scary moment. Let's see. All right, so here's our situation. Like we were talking about, Bobby is pick 2, I'm pick 1, and Snyder, you're back in pick 9.
Yep.
So yeah, like Bob was saying before, promo code RunPure gets you $25 on your first deposit on Underdog. So make sure to use RunPure. That'll basically get you an entry into the contest we're about to show you. Other potential contests you could get into the Puppy, which is a $5 entry. And, oh shit, it's my pick. Let me just get this Christian McCaffrey out of the way. $5 for the Puppy, and that's, I think, $100K for the first prize in that one.
People aren't going to like this. Devontae Adams, number 2.
Number 2, all right.
Ooh.
I can't take Dalvin. I just can't do it. I have no Dalvin. I'm not going to draft Dalvin now. It doesn't make any sense. I haven't drafted from 2, I think, in 57 drafts. So I might have drafted from 2 once. There's no way I'm taking Dalvin.
I haven't done it a whole lot.
I'm just getting my exposure correct.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with how you land in certain spots. Like for whatever reason, I just like land in those back 3 or 4 spots so often that
Me too.
I'm so used to it. I don't know what to do when I'm in a early spot.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to figure out why that is, because I feel like I'm always at the latter end of the draft for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I didn't go Kamara because obviously we're talking about Taysom being the quarterback there, and I just don't think that's beneficial to Kamara. Not bullish on Henry, and Adams kind of creeped up into my top 5 once we were told that Rodgers was going to stay in Green Bay. So I had to go Adams. I know it's early, but what are you going to do? Snyder, where are you going here?
I'm up next, and it's either going to be Zeke, Eckler, or Diggs. And that guy he took Diggs, so I'm gonna get my number 2 guy here in the 9th pick. Taking Zeke again.
So you gotta love that value, Snyder. Yeah. You've been picking. You've been shooting for Eckler early in the round. So to get him late like that is a huge score for you.
Definitely. Then I'll be looking at a receiver coming back most likely.
This is our second draft of the night. Good draft, though.
Yeah, we got a good practice round in there.
Snyder coming up again on the wrap. What are you doing?
I'm hoping
D-Hop's right there, baby.
I'm kind of hoping Hopkins just falls right to me here. Nope.
Nope. Hate to see it.
He's been falling there.
Yeah.
He has, yeah.
He's been falling there because I have a couple teams where I got him at that same point.
Yeah, it's funny how people will react to certain, like they're looking for any reason to get off a guy, and I think Hopkins came out and he was a little upset about the vaccine policy that the NFL announced, and he was vocal about it, and then he took it back immediately. He said something about retiring or something like that, but then he took it back immediately, and since then you haven't heard a peep out of him about vaccine or anything like that. So yeah. I think
there's a big edge in this in regards to how people overreact to news.
Oh yeah,
like a situation like the vaccine. like we're making fluid decisions and people just get so overwhelmed by a tweet or just stuff they shouldn't be overreacting to, and it hurts people's value, and that's why drafting all summer, there's kind of an edge to it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just a perfect example of drafting all summer too, and like the value that you get. Like I can tell you, I was drafting CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper together at the back end of the third, beginning of the fourth rounds. Frequently, you can't get CeeDee Lamb anywhere near the back end of the third anymore. Yeah, there's all sorts of benefits, but you also can hit a lot of landmines, like Cam Akers going down with a ruptured Achilles if you're drafting him. Michael Thomas. Snyder, how much exposure did you have to Michael Thomas?
I had a decent amount. Probably, I had him on I want to say like 20% of my teams at the time.
Yeah. This is gonna fucking kill me because Bobby just took CeeDee Lamb from me.
Yeah,
so I got Bobby.
Stud.
Yeah, I got Bobby.
You took McLaurin from me. I wanted McLaurin bad there. Holy shit! See,
Bobby
this is like a dead zone that I don't want to be in.
Yep, it was the worst possible landing spot for us.
I hate this spot right here. Yeah.
Oh, this isn't great. I'm gonna go CEH. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind him at all. I think he's going to have he's another one of those narratives, man. It's like everybody's like down on him. They said he had a horrible year last year. It's like the dude was a rookie, had no training camp, and then he got hurt. So of course he had a down year.
So the lack of training camp is so underrated, and I feel like so many people like don't understand what that means for these players. So to like take a stand on CEH because of last season and an offense that is obviously very complex in terms of Kansas City, like without a training camp, and he wasn't efficient on the goal line, but it wasn't like he was terrible. You know what I mean? I like the CEH pick. Snyder, what are you doing here?
I'm looking at. I got some options. I don't like Lockett. I don't want to double stack that. I'm probably taking Jamar Chase. He's my next highest receiver.
Jamar Chase? I like Chase. I have a lot of Jamar Chase.
It's a little soon, but I really don't want to take Mahomes. I like Chase over Julio and Kupp and Carson. DJ Moore, I'm off DJ Moore. Robert Woods is right there. He's definitely could go that route, but I don't think I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go with Jamar Chase for sure here. I'm all in on Jamar Chase this year.
Yeah, I have a ton of exposure to Chase as well. Like, I think we're all pretty much on the same page there.
Yeah, I think he's like legit going to be like that top 5 to 7 receiver next year coming into next year's draft.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I'm with you guys. He's just an incredible athlete. Their line needs to hold up, but if it does, that offense is just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, hoping that Burrow's knee or his mental state with the knee is not a big deal, but we'll see how that plays out. I would imagine it'll take him a few games of actual getting hit and stuff like that before he's feeling somewhat comfortable on it again.
So it's going to be expected, right? Like,
yep.
It's not, obviously there's going to be some hesitation. The issue is, and you hit on this early, is they, instead of taking Chase, they could have taken an O-lineman, best O-lineman in the draft, and to protect Burrow. And Burrow pushed for Chase, and now you wonder if they filled those holes on the O-line that pretty much put Burrow in that situation in the first place last season.
Well, that's one of the things that I don't get, like with Burrow. It's like, why was he pushing for the receiver? I get that they went to college together and they had like some great seasons together and everything, but if you're Burrow, don't you want to protect your freaking knee? Don't you want to do you want to end up like you just had your rookie year, you were on fire, and because your offensive line sucked, you ended up with a season-ending injury. I mean, it's an obvious situation where you want to draft the guy, a guy who's going to protect you. Like, what's the point of having Chase if you got no time to throw to him?
Yeah, I mean, I seen a highlight of him today. I mean, when he's making catches like he did today, I don't think it really matters. I mean, wow, he got up there, like went and leaped over a defender and just came down with the ball. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely a beast. I understand why Burrow would want the receiver, and you hope that your GM can kind of fill the void on the offensive line, I would guess.
They tried to make a few moves, but I don't think it's going to be a big enough Band-Aid. You guys are coming up here.
Yeah.
Bob's up next.
I'm going to my guy.
Deontay, he's right there waiting for
you. Oh, he took Henderson in front of me. I wanted Henderson on the wrap. I knew PumaCon wasn't taking Henderson. Oh, that's a tough hit.
What do I have here? Oh, I already got 3 receivers. I'm going to take Sanders here.
Oh, what can I do?
I'm surprised Sanders is falling to the 5th. To be honest with you, he feels like like maybe a early 4th round pick. To me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense that he's falling that far.
I was so confused. I just took Robbie Anderson. I was so confused in that range.
Yeah, I don't always take a running back in the 5th like that. Like I'm normally a wide receiver or elite quarterback in that round, but I felt like it just made sense there.
I think I might get Lamar here.
Robbie Anderson.
I'd definitely be happy with that.
Yeah, Lamar's the perfect guy to draft if you didn't get a wide receiver in the 1st round. Because if you're not drafting, if you don't get if you don't draft, what do you call it? Adams.
Oh, that guy just took Lamar. He took 2 quarterbacks.
That's the 2nd draft in a row.
That guy just went Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I mean, what the heck is he doing?
Oh man. Oh man.
That's the downside of drafting against like softer competition is they snipe you on the stupidest things. Yeah. Like it's just like so bad.
I'm going back to ETN, it looks like.
So here's my question for you with Lamar, Snyder. Are you double stacking Lamar? Because I know we talked on this previously. I can't double stack Lamar, but I don't think you have to double stack Lamar.
I don't mind like if you're gonna go Lamar, Andrews, and then you're gonna get Bateman like in the 11th, 12th round or wherever. I think that's a nice cheap stack because I mean you don't need Bateman to have big games week in and week out, but he's definitely going to spike, I think. I think he's going to take over Marquise Brown here soon, too. I mean, Marquise Brown's already having lingering issues again with his hamstrings. I mean, he can't catch the ball. He can't stay healthy. I think this is really going to be Bateman's team.
Marquise Brown is just too small. Like Big T, I think, hit on this last year. He's just like this little guy that's a burner, but is he going to stay the whole season and get it done? It's questionable.
I don't get why these teams just like year after year they think that these little burner guys are going to do something. They always get hurt. It's like the best case scenario, you end up with Deshaun Jackson, right? And that guy plays like 3 games a year. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like Marquise. I want to see if they can take the step where they can that passing offense evolves because Lamar, like, especially in DFS, like 180 yards is like usually his passing prop for yardage. It's like, how do you double stack this guy with and him hit that bonus? It's just very difficult.
I went to that last Ravens and Chiefs game down in Kansas City, and I think he's smaller than Tyreek. Like they were standing next to each other, and I couldn't tell which one was bigger.
Marquise Brown looks like a little kid. Like,
yeah,
pocket.
I got pictures and shit. We were like on the 7th row, and he's just a little guy out there.
Well, I guess best case is a Tyreek Hill, not a Deshaun Jackson. Then.
Yeah,
forgot how small that guy was.
Yeah, he's having issues too with something with his leg was acting up the other day.
Yeah, Kelsey too with his back.
Who am I taking on the wrap here? I don't even have my app up. I just totally quit trying to do this on desktop.
Oh yeah, the desktop is.
I'm just not even attempting it at this point.
No, we tried it a couple times. It was like a disaster. You can't go in there and look and see things as easily. I like to look and see what other people's ADPs are. Like I like to be aware of my surroundings and whatnot. And I could not get used to that on a desktop. Not at all. Could barely check my own team on the desktop.
I'm going to go AB here. I think AB is going to have a very good year, and I think his ADP is very low relative to the situation.
All right, so I just took Chenault. I will gladly take Chenault there, and I'm going to go with Williams here.
I'm going to A-Rod. I have to complete my stack with Devontae, so that works for me. I know it's a little early, but I think Aaron Rodgers can go early.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps waiting on QBs and waiting on QBs.
What pick was that? You just got him at pick 74.
What's his ADP currently?
It's 89. Like so it's 89. Like it's barely like it's like a like a round. So that's not bad. But considering where you are in the draft, it would have been.
I wouldn't have got it.
There's no way he'd come back to you. Yeah, I like Mike Williams. There was talk that with the Saints offensive coordinator now in LA and new coaching, they're not going to use him as that typical role that he's been in, where he just goes downfield, they throw him the bombs, and then he just throws his whole body into it and just like crashes to the ground. Like this year, he's supposedly going to be getting a lot more shorter passes, and like the Michael Thomas role basically from the Saints. But we'll see how that plays out. But I do like that they're talking up getting him a lot more targets this season. So I don't hate the value on Michael Williams this year.
I'm with you. I like Mike Williams. I think he's going to be. You take Anthony Lynn out of that equation, and you basically add Mike Lombardi, Saints' previous offensive coordinator. I think it bodes well for that whole offense.
Anytime you can take Anthony Lynn out of equation.
Any situation. You can take Anthony Lynn out of any situation.
Yeah. So that guy in front of me who's taken 3 quarterbacks already just took Michael Thomas.
Here he goes. Yeah, I'm not touching Michael Thomas right now. Yeah, I wouldn't even touch him until after like the Nelson Aguilars of the world are off the board.
I'm so confused with like the trajectory of Michael Thomas's career at this point.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when he was up next pretty much. Now he's just like it's just a complete downward spiral.
I don't think he wants anything to do with Taysom or something like that.
So they weren't horrible at the end of the year last year. I get why he wouldn't, but it wasn't like it was an awful. It was definitely more of a hindrance to my Alvin Kamara shares than it was my Michael Thomas best ball shares.
So somebody just sniped Justin Herbert. I was hoping he'd fall to me. I have Allen and I got Williams on my team, and that was heartbreaking to see him go there. But at the same time, he was right around he was past his ADP, so it would have taken something for him to fall to me. But I didn't, I liked LaVisca there more than I liked drafting Herbert early. So I don't exactly hate losing my stack there, but I would have loved to be able to complete that stack, but whatever.
I need a running back. Or maybe I don't.
What are you going for, Snyder?
I'm gonna take another running back here, and I fell into that same trap going Zeke and ETN with the 7 bye weeks, but I'm gonna go with Sermon and then Damian Harris here.
There you go.
I love the Damian Harris pick.
I think Damian Harris has got a high future here.
I'm super bullish on Damian Harris. They're gonna pound the rock.
I think that Trey Sermon's a beast too.
Snyder's got a robust RB situation.
I know, and I have zero RB. Totally, taking everyone I'm considering at this point.
I just didn't like the receivers right there. I mean, I like the upside of like Waddle and Mooney and stuff, but I didn't think that upside was better than getting, which I feel is like a safer play in Harris.
So like I know Waddle's good, but are we that? I don't love Tua. That's like my issue.
Yeah,
Miami and these Jets receivers is just like they're Miami and Jets receivers, right? Like,
and they got Devontae Parker there and Will Fuller there. I mean, might be a little too much. And Gesicki at tight end.
What back should I take here, Snyder? Michael Carter or James Robinson?
I'm kind of warming up to Michael Carter. I mean, he was a beast at North Carolina, and if he's going to play that same role here, I think he could really do well.
Yeah.
I mean, you got A.J. Dillon down there, too.
I like A.J. Dillon a bunch.
Yeah.
Damn it. Darnell Mooney just went. I was hoping to grab him and then do a Fields pair with him later on, but that's not going to happen now.
I think I know what I'm going to do.
And then Elijah Moore, my other guy I was looking at.
Oh, I was hoping to get Elijah Moore coming back.
Yeah, that sucks.
I just hated on Jets players, and then I took Michael Carter.
That's pretty early for Elijah Moore. He usually goes in like the 10th round, I think.
He's going earlier and earlier, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Dallas Goedert here. Man, normally I draft Jalen Hurts, but I just don't trust the Deshaun Watson situation. I can't do it. I'm going to go with shit. My brain is frozen. I'm going to go with Waddle. Fuck it. I was tempted to go with Robinson there. Yeah. But I'm just not exposed to him like Bobby is.
I want to go Robinson, but I'm worried that I'm not going to get back to Tanyan, but we'll see. Fuck it.
Oops. Yeah, one thing that drives me nuts is like when you draft a lot of those guys early in the first and second round, those wide receivers, if you don't get your quarterback in that 5th round, then you're basically looking at your highest asset not being able to stack him with his quarterback, and you want that correlation.
So you
when
do.
you're investing in.
You definitely want. I think you definitely want some sort of stacking, but I think it has to come like organically.
No, I think so too. But I also think if you're going to invest a first round pick in a guy like Diggs or Tyreek or you know, like you want to try harder to get that stack, make that stack happen.
So that's why I think earlier in the year there was a ton of leverage with drafting Mahomes slightly early because people weren't, but they were taking Tyreek and Kelsey. So if you did that and you didn't get Tyreek and Kelsey, you take Mahomes and then take a hard win. That was like a way I was kind of playing earlier in the year just to snipe people who were taking Kelsey and Tyreek.
Yeah.
When that ambiguity was really strong between 2 and 9. Just to like keep them from having the Mahomes that main Chiefs stack pretty much.
Yeah.
If it fell and I was in a situation where I could take Mahomes, if I was like in that dead zone at
that point, somebody has to be the guy that breaks up that stack. You can't let somebody in the.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is someone has to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, if you were in my draft and you drafted Kelsey or Tyreek early, there was a good chance if I was in a position to take Mahomes, I was sniping him.
And we've seen Bobby. He's not he's not afraid to draft guys a couple rounds in.
Oh, not a chance. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna look to get Trey Lance here if he gets back to me.
And part of the reason with that is I think a lot of these ADPs are just like relatively inaccurate because they're just a projection of something that's gonna. It's very tough to project how this all shakes up come playoff time for best ball, right? So
yeah. All right, Snyder.
2 away.
Someone took Tanyan.
Yeah.
Oh no, not yet.
No, he's still there. Yeah.
None of you take him.
Yeah, I should take him right here. And now I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna take the upside with Trey Lance to pair him with Brandon Ayuk.
I love that.
Yep.
Ayuk's a beast, man. Who has 4 quarterbacks? L. Vargas, 21. 4 QBs early. He's winning the QB position. So to be honest, like I get like taking 2 of these guys earlier.
Snyder's got Sermon with that stack too.
Yeah, I got some 49ers. They have a super easy schedule this year, and I mean playoff time is even. I mean that's the easiest part of their schedule as well. If you can get through this league and get to the playoffs, they got a super soft schedule.
Yeah. You know, I've heard about this. He took Burrow. I've heard about this strategy before with soaking up all these quarterbacks. Every once in a while, you'll see it in a draft where some.
I don't hate it.
Drafts all of them.
I don't hate it if you get 3 legitimate QBs because then, like, what are
about 5
are there? You're taking a lot from the rest of the pool, right?
Yeah.
It's just as you get later in this tournament, like even if you win your pool, you're going to come into situations where your team's going to lack a ton of depth relative to the field. I'm in
that situation right now. I don't have a quarterback right now, and I'm I got to go.
That guy took 5 quarterbacks.
I got to go with Fields basically, like as my QB1. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna go with
that
Gordon.
Guy's got. What's he got? Nick Chubb and 5 quarterbacks and Michael Thomas.
Yeah, and I had to reach on Justin Fields just because I couldn't afford for him to get taken. You know?
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon, though, I like Melvin Gordon. It's like I've been talking about it a few times, but with Melvin Gordon, I just think that everybody jumped on the Javonte bandwagon, and it's kind of showing up now that Melvin Gordon is the clear-cut lead back right now. So I think he gets at least a few games. Best case scenario, if you're drafting Melvin Gordon, is maybe he ends up on the Rams. Not for Bobby, but for if you're a Melvin Gordon drafter, you want him on the Rams to take that lead role.
There's no way Melvin Gordon is going to steal the lead role from Darrell Henderson. Melvin Gordon is absolute dust. He's total dust.
No, man. I think he's
no.
It's like I was saying, I think he's got the confidence issue because he missed out on his contract. He tried to hold out. He ended up getting super lowballed on his contract. He got less than what his original offer was. So that had to kill his esteem, right?
He's awful.
So that killed his esteem, put him in a bad mindset. He underperformed that year in San Diego at the time, right? Yeah. He underperformed that year because he tried to hold out. He came back, played shitty the rest of the year because he didn't have training camp or he missed the first few games of the year. And then after that, he got the shitty contract. And after that, they just dumped him completely and he went to Denver. So he needs to go somewhere where he feels needed. And if the Rams were to actively trade for him and put him on a good situation like that, I just think his whole mentality would change. I just think that he would go in with a brand new mindset and just pull off one of those comeback seasons. I just think he could pull it off.
I can't follow you on that take. I'm just for my own personal reasons with Darrell Henderson, and I don't know, man. Melvin's been he's been like a do not draft for me for about 8 years now. So
there was a lot of hate on him after his rookie year. Everybody was like, "Oh, Melvin Gordon, he sucks." All the fantasy analysts were like, making jokes about him and shit like that. And then he had that breakout season. And
he did have a really good year.
Yeah, he had a couple really good years, and they just would never get back on board with him. They refused to. They had super take lock, and he just kept having these good years, and then he just derailed himself with that holdout.
Yeah, I think I had him earlier in his career, but later on, it just in the last 5 years or 4 years, I can't even go near him.
Yeah, I give him a pass on the on the year where he held out for his performance. I give his performance a pass on that because he missed a bunch of games and training camp, and then I give him a pass when he ended up in Denver because that was no training camp because of COVID last year, or
he did cost me a WC ticket last year.
Yeah,
it was Melvin Gordon or Philip Lindsay, and I ran my projections and I got Melvin Gordon, and I just decided to go Lindsay because of just my distaste for Melvin Gordon. Lindsay gets hurt, I'm in first. If I just had rostered Melvin Gordon, I win, and I get the ticket. So
that's brutal.
Yeah, recency bias gone totally wrong.
So I just drafted that Terrence Marshall that I'm high on here recently. I think he can be a comparable guy to the New York Jets. Sam Darnold actually had good chemistry with Jamison Crowder out of the slot, and now Terrence Marshall will be out of the slot. I mean, Sam Darnold can make that throw. He's confident making that slot throw, so I think that could be a good, easy target for him to get comfortable with there.
Shit, man! All the guys that I want all have the same bye weeks for those tight ends. Ugh, I gotta draft Paris Campbell.
Bobby's with his Madison.
I'm on the wrap. Shit,
that's brutal. Let's see, Justin Fields. I'm just gonna reach here on Fitzpatrick to get my Terry McLaurin pairing there.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think I'm gonna go Hunter Henry. Just can't find him. I hope I find him within this next 12 seconds. Hunter Henry it is. I like Henry over Jonnu. It just seems like the Patriots are a very good spot for Henry.
I was looking at Jonnu there, but his bye week fell on the same week as Goddard, and I don't want to.
The worst.
Yeah, I don't want 3 tight ends in this build. I'm gonna need 3 quarterbacks in this build just because I'm in a bad spot with quarterbacks right now.
I like the 3 QB builds. I don't hate them. They're like, I feel like everyone's like, oh, you drafted 3 QBs, but
yeah,
I think my best teams last year, a couple of them had 3 QBs, just because you get that floor that's so high.
Yeah. Gesicki was another one that I avoided. He's going later and later. He's
yeah.
I don't quite understand that. I know there's a lot more.
You have Fields, right? You could have went to Matt.
Yeah. That's what my goal is. I'm just hoping he doesn't get sniped off me.
I see. Yeah.
I need another
Jamal
QB. Williams. Just took Jamal Williams. A pretty good value there, I think.
Yeah.
153 versus 140 ADP.
You know, I had a dream that I took him at a good value, like earlier, like this evening. I just can't, you know.
I might actually
have
Mac for my second QB. I might draft Mac for my second QB. It's probably no, it's not. I can't do that. Then I have to draft a third QB. That's just galaxy braining. I don't know. Where are we? 11 picks. Snyder, you're up next, right?
I just went. I took. I'm in 3. I got 3 picks, and then it's me. I took Jamal Williams with my last pick.
So I really like the Trey Lance Ayuk stack.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I'm trying to make a decision if I want to take a gamble on like a Watson right here or not.
Yeah, that's going to be a decision for me later with Taysom or Watson, I think.
Yeah, I kind of like Ben this year.
I could take. I have Deontay. I don't hate Ben. That's a good call.
Ben, like just what we were talking about the other day with him being super skinny now, and
skinny Ben.
Yeah, skinny Ben. He's gonna be. They're talking about how he's been a lot more open this year to new ideas in the offense, and you know.
I really like the way Ben handled the rookie receiving core that he had last year relative to seeing Brady in his final year in New England deal with a bunch of obviously Brady's receiving core wasn't as talented. Ben has Deontay, Claypool, Juju, but I think he worked with them. He worked with Deontay through the drops. So I don't hate the Ben call. Skinny Ben might be someone I'm considering.
Yeah. Hipster later. Ben.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bobby, what's on your mind for your next pick here?
Where are we? Maybe James White or no, that's way too far. James White, Gio, these are guys that I kind of start going to. I just skip this whole, I don't know. I just draft the guys I want at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not Amari Rodgers. It's way too late. It's way too early though. Do I need a running back? I mean, I need a QB, to be honest. I might need a running back. I'm going to go James White.
Whew, I had to sweat both you guys potentially taking Deshaun Watson from me. There goes Deshaun. I got him with my my Eagles stack there. I got him Miles Sanders.
That's why you threw the ban out there.
Yep.
I thought you might have wanted him, but I just couldn't.
Taking Gio.
I was so happy when Snyder went with that tight end back there.
Yeah. I decided to go with Jonnu there.
I mean, you got a great value on Jonnu too.
Yeah. I didn't think I could pass him up. I didn't like any other guys really there, but it was either him or Watson.
Yeah. I was going to try to hold off on Watson for another round, but when I heard you guys starting to talk about QB needs, I was like, oh, fuck that. I got to get him.
I love this throwing in. Oh, Ben, he's skinny. Get me all, you get me all hyped up on Ben. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Simon.
He buffaloed you.
I do want to increase exposure to Ben though. Like after, I'm seeing the narrative develop with him, and if you read the beat reports and stuff like that, I know a lot of that stuff gets overhyped or overplayed or whatever, but it does look like he's trying to reinvent himself right now, and I think that's going to benefit him and the short range guys like Deontay and Juju. So that's why I've been taking a little bit more, warming up to Deontay a little bit before I was kind of fading him throughout all my drafts. Basically, I don't think I have any really Deontay exposure, but with the 30 or so drafts I have left, I'll probably bump that up.
Deontay catches the football consistently. I think you're looking at a top 10 wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's got the potential. It's all about.
He definitely has the potential.
It's all about what are we going to see out of Skinny Ben this season?
Dude, you caught me with Skinny Ben. I am taking.
You have Deontay too, man.
If he's there, might not be there. Oh, we're getting down to the.
Yeah, we're at 16, 17, 18.
Oh.
Man.
I'm in a predicament here. I just don't.
So, Bobby, why don't you talk about your team real quick?
Yeah, so right now I need an extra quarterback, but I have Aaron Rodgers as my QB. I stacked him with Devontae Adams, who I took number 2 overall because I don't have any Dalvin Cook shares. My running backs are Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Michael Carter, James Robinson, Alexander Madison, who stays as my fade of Dalvin Cook this season, James White, and Gio Bernard. Adams starts the wide receiver core with CeeDee Lamb, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson, Antonio Brown, who I'm super bullish on. I think he's going way too late in terms of his value. Like, I don't mind taking him around ahead of where he's at. Rondell Moore, obviously big YouTube highlights for Rondell Moore. We'll see if it can translate to the NFL. Robert Tonyan is the other part of my Green Bay stack that I wanted to get, which I like to have Adams, Tonyan, and Rodgers. And Hunter Henry, I like him. I'm more bullish on Henry than I am on Johnny Smith. So that rounds out my team so far. And hopefully I get Ben here because Simon taught me into him.
You Snyder. Definitely will not get Ben.
Is Ben gone?
Yeah, he's sitting on my bench. Yeah, he's sitting on my bench.
Oh, come on. What the?
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. That's great.
This is getting rough. I'm gonna take Amari Rodgers here.
Oh no, Sam Darnold just went off the board too.
He can go off the board. No, zero interest.
Let's see.
Another guy that just went is Rashad Penny. I think he's got good value. He's looking a lot better in camp this year, and I think he could be a good value this late in the draft. I was pondering him or Ben.
Let's
see.
I don't know what to do here.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take Mac. I can't take Mac, then I have to take a third QB. I want to take Pringle.
Man, Diami Brown is gone. So God, this is like super thin in the wide receivers right now.
Diami Brown.
I literally can take no one.
I'll trade you, Simon.
Oh no, this isn't good.
I'll trade you Diami Brown.
For Nico Collins.
I have to take Jared Goff. Oh no.
17.
That's rough. That is rough. I loved my team till that happened. There was all my bye weeks were everyone had the same bye week as Rodgers. Week 14. The pain. Oh wait, why did I do that? Rodgers is week 13. Why did I think he was 14? No. This is going downhill fast. I could have took Mac.
Who'd you end up with?
Jared Goff, because I thought Rodgers in the same bye week as all these other guys. Oh, this is not good.
Man, I'll tell you, Lynn Bowden is interesting this season because he's got the RB slot on Underdog. So Lynn Bowden is interesting because he was one of the most heavily targeted guys for Tua last year. If you look at his targets in the last few games of the season last year, he was getting like peppered. And having a guy like that in the RB slot is interesting because if you're desperate for a running back in these late rounds, you can fill it out with Bowden. Hope that he has a similar role as last year, even though I know like Waddle and Fuller are on the team now. But, there's still a potential that they use him the same way that they used him last year. Maybe like they swap him out with Gaskin or something like that. But more as a wide receiver instead of a running back. But it'll be interesting to see how they use Bowden this season if he makes the team. I was getting a decent amount of exposure to him earlier in the season before I started to shy away from him. But yeah, he's definitely interesting with that running back designation. If he got cut and ended up somewhere as a wide receiver too, like let's say he got cut and he ends up in Green Bay, for instance, or somewhere like that, where he just ends up with this kick-ass quarterback, and then you got this guy on your bench as a running back. It's like having that extra wide receiver. It's not. It's kind of like the opposite of a receiving back. It's like a running wide receiver.
Oh, that Goff pick is just fucking torturing me. I can't believe I just did that. I love this team up until the Goff pick. Fluid decision making, very big in best ball. That was not fluid.
Snyder, you just took a 6 running back. What's your mindset there?
Yeah, I actually didn't think that guy was above the other guy I had queued.
Did you time out into him?
Yeah. I clicked on Palmer and I was looking down even further to see if I could find anything else, and then I wasn't even paying attention.
Gotcha.
So we ended up with Xavier Jones.
Gotcha. For the people at home, we're drafting at midnight right now.
Yeah, midnight. Second draft of the night.
Yeah, second draft of the night. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty on that first draft.
You know what? I want to take Pringle. I'm not taking Mac Jones. I love Pringle. I should take Mac Jones. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, we're super thin at quarterback right now. It's Mac Jones.
This is awful, dude.
Well, that one guy
Mac's
took like
gonna be
7
playing by week
quarterbacks.
14. It would have just been easy to take Mac the first time. Whatever. Mac it is. I get James White, and I have Hunter Henry. Who do the Pats play week 14? It's just because Rodgers is.
I took Josh Palmer with my last pick there. So Snyder, we've already kind of heard Bobby go through his team. Snyder, do you want
to find mine? It's not on top. The one I just drafted, I gotta find it.
Go to just go back to the tournament and go. If you're on desktop, it's the first one up top.
Yeah, usually it is. It's not there, though.
Are you on desktop, Snyder?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not there. It's not the top. Wow. Shit.
I don't know what happened to our teams there.
Well, I can kind of read it off if you want. I'm still in the draft.
Oh, right on.
Let's see.
I was gonna try and get on my phone.
Let's see. So Snyder ended up with Trey Lance and Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterbacks. He paired Trey Lance with Trey Sermon and who else? Brandon Ayuk. That's a nice little San Francisco stack. We know in the playoff rounds, San Francisco's gonna have a nice schedule, so it should be tasty for fantasy points in those rounds. He's got Skinny Ben taking the second quarterback, so hopefully he'll be able to live up to his new physique there. I don't see any Pittsburgh people stacked with him though, so he's running a naked Skinny Ben right there. For running backs, he's got Zeke. He got him at a great value at 9. He's Snyder's ranked number 2 overall pick. And then he's got ETN, Trey Sermon, who we mentioned. He's got Damian Harris, who Bobby and I both love. He's got Jamal Williams, and he's got Xavier Jones. And then for wide receivers, he's got Metcalf, Chase, who we all love. He's got Ayuk, who we mentioned. He went with the youth of Bateman, going for his homerism there. Then went with Terrace Marshall, Gabriel Davis, Diami Brown, Van Jefferson. So I actually like Bateman a lot too. I think, like you do, he's going to be the lead receiver over Marquise Brown. What have you heard about Bateman as someone who keeps close tabs on the Ravens?
Yeah, he's impressing everybody at camp. He's making some big plays. He showed his athleticism both in making cuts in and out of these routes, and he's went up and he's made some jump ball catches too. He's just completely wowed the coaching staff from everything I've heard.
Very cool. Yeah, and then you got Andrews and you got Smith. So you got a Ravens stack. Went with the double receiver stack, but no Lamar Jackson with it. He got sniped from you in that 5th round, I believe, right?
Correct. Yeah, that guy took his 3rd quarterback at that time.
Yep, that's right. I want to see how many quarterbacks did that do.
I think he only ended up with like 5 or 6.
Yeah, he gave up after Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at his team. He's got Patrick Mahomes. Let's see what this strategy gets you. He's got Patrick Mahomes.
I think there is something to this strategy with everyone drafting, waiting on QBs. There has to be something to this strategy.
I mean, as far as like thinning out your competition, but there's no. Well,
as you get later into this tournament, it's gonna hurt you, right?
Yeah. Well, potentially. I mean, the thing is, if this dude is drafting these guys based on predicted spike weeks, and he's kind of got a plan. He's like, these are the specific quarterbacks that he wanted, because he's projecting each of these quarterbacks to win a particular week or something like that. Then I can see it making sense. But like to draft, I mean, the only thing I see making sense about it is obviously just blocking your opponents from having a quarterback that's any good. And then he's got Chubb, Connor, Murray, and McKissick for his running backs. He's got Diggs, so he's got decent receivers too. He's got Diggs, Robinson, Thomas, Fuller. Then he went Brown and Zacchaeus. So he's really going for that kind of anti-fragile wide receiver type of situation, So
like that I think you could make that work, but I just don't know if Zacchaeus is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Daimi Brown.
He did.
I'm a big Pringle guy, so
yeah, he got good value on those tight ends too, with Gesicki at 152. He's a 131 ADP. He got Everett, who I also like, at 161. Who's a 144 ADP, and then Cook there.
So his team's relatively strong.
I mean, it's not horrible. Like what was the name of that guy's? He was right around Snyder. Okay, now this is where it gets whack. Is like underdog projection for his season total of points
is ridiculously high.
Yeah, it's 3,500. Like you never see that high in these projected.
I know. I just noticed that.
So yeah, that's a little bit crazy. It would be interesting to see how that pans out. I don't think it's going to pan out for him, but yeah. So
I wonder if there was like a method to his madness, though.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what his strategy was there. And
it's interesting because he's differentiating the construction, so it's not like I just don't want to like badmouth this team, because there could be there could be something that he sees that maybe everyone's kind of overlooking.
Yeah. And I have heard like in that what is it, the football guys tournaments, like people actually do that where they load up on quarterback like that.
So it doesn't. You get the floor, and in these like small field tournaments, it makes sense. Like if you're getting that floor, and then you hit a spike week, or you're hitting multiple spike weeks.
Right.
It's just you're sacrificing value as you progress, I think, through the tournament.
I think when you do that, you basically not guarantee, but you're giving yourself 80-90% chance of hitting the week 1 QB every week of the season. Potentially scoring 30 points a week at the QB spot, or 25, 30 points a week at the QB spot.
And then you're playing for that floor, so it's I don't know. I don't hate, like, everyone's building a different way where they're just waiting on QBs. Like I like the way he's kind of thinking outside the box. Not like it's optimal, but who's to say like waiting on QBs is optimal? There's issues with that as well. It just seems like it fits construction more this year, but At least he's trying to be different.
Yeah. I don't blame him for that. I for my team, I ended up with Justin Fields, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Deshaun Watson as my QBs. So a little weak at the QB, unless Fields ends up being what he's hyped up to be. Ended up with running backs Christian McCaffrey, Miles Sanders, Melvin Gordon, and Darrington Evans. Wide receiver went with Keenan Allen, who I was hoping I'd have a stack with Herbert there. Ended up with Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer and Mike Williams. So I got 3 Chargers receivers. So I basically got the weapons there, just not the quarterback. Terry McLaurin, who I pair with Ryan Fitzpatrick, T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault, Jalen Waddle, Paris Campbell, Nico Collins to round it out. And then for tight end, I got Dallas Goedert and Cole Kmet. So Cole Kmet goes with my field stack, and then Goddard and Miles Sanders kind of goes with Deshaun Watson if he ends up on the Eagles. So I'm trying to build those Eagles with Deshaun Watson stacks now before that trade talk heats up a little bit more and people start to do that more, and it becomes harder to get Deshaun Watson in those late rounds.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I like the team overall. It's weird drafting out of position, right? Like first and second, we were in that draft, and we're usually later in the draft. But
yeah,
I think you did a really good job of structuring this team.
Yeah, you too. I think we all had decent.
And you tricked me, Watson.
Yep, had to do it. But yeah, I like you got a nice Green Bay stack there, Bobby.
Yeah, I went Rodgers. Jared Goff was like didn't want Goff. I loved the draft up until like the second to last pick, right?
Yeah.
Took Goff because I thought that he was the only QB left because El Vargas took 15 QBs. So there was no QBs left. And then I thought Goff was the only one left that didn't have the Rodgers bye week, but I could have went Mac Jones because I had James White and Hunter Henry. My original stack and the base of the team was a Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Tanyan stack. For my running backs, I went Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Michael Carter, James Robinson, Madison, White, Giovanni Bernard. But I think the real strength of my team is at receiver with Adam, CeeDee Lamb, Deontay, Robbie Anderson, Antonio Brown. And I added Amari Rodgers at the end there to get him maybe another late season. Maybe he steps in more later on in the year come playoff time with this Green Bay stack. That pretty much wraps up our second draft of the night, but this is the one we got perfectly recorded by Simon. So first Simon, first Snyder. I'm Bob. This was Best Ball on Underdog. Don't forget RPS promo code RunPure. First time deposit. Peace.
$25 into your account with that promo code.
Yeah.